Yo, what is going on, everybody? We are back. The Redshirt podcast is back for another great episode. Week six, seven. Just finished week 6, going on to week 7 of the college football season. I'm sorry, I'm trying to send the show out to people. Sorry, y'all. So just give me a second. My mind is everywhere, especially
We
today.
putting it out.
Today's been right. Today's been kind of a little bit of a hectic day. So, but yeah. Oh yeah,
And we
week
will
7,
try.
right? Week 7 of the
Um,
college football season is upon us. As we move on to do the season, it's getting real. As you can see, the title is getting spooky outside for some teams. So, um, as always, man, I'm your host, DG, man. At Keep It Prolific. I got my guy here with me, Trey, at That Way 816. Trey, how you feeling about going into week 7, bro?
uh, I mean, the title says it. This is getting real spooky for some teams.
Yep.
Uh, we gonna talk about a couple teams because I know that the fans, I know everybody who's watching, they gonna want to talk about a certain team. Uh, but I mean, it's one of them times, you know. This is that put up or shut up season, or this is the put up or shut up week for a good amount of teams because it really gives them an idea of are you really a college football contender, or are you just right now you just saving the spot for someone, you just keeping the spot warm for somebody else. So
Yep.
this is just kind of where it is, man. This we got a lot of great matchups, but I mean we all got to talk about the team. We got to talk about what's going on before that.
Yeah. So we'll go over a bit of what happened in week 6. We'll start with the number 1 team in the land. Ohio State went on the road, or a home game for them at home against
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota. Basically blew the doors off of them 42-3. Miami over Florida State. Big dub for the Hurricanes, and a very renewed rivalry for them. Oklahoma continues to roll as they beat Kent State. Texas A&M goes to has a home game against Mississippi State, where they win a big game over Mississippi State, 31-9. Bama and Vanderbilt face off against each other. Bama comes out on top after Diego Pavia talked all that trash, and went to Tuscaloosa and got BTA. So I was more than happy to see that as well too. And then Penn State went on the road to the Rose Bowl, and what an embarrassing, uh, probably
It's speechless.
yeah, very speechless loss for them, for UCLA. I can't even fathom what's going on through James Franklin's mind at this point. Very, very disappointing, in a sense. So, yeah, man. And then, of course, my Texas Longhorns suffered defeat in the swamp, 29-21, in a very strange, weird game for them as well too. So we'll get to all that, but before we do get to all that, let's go ahead and bring up the new AP for the week. Ohio State still remains number 1. Uh, Miami, I think Miami was at 2 last week, wasn't
Yeah, I believe
it?
so.
Yeah, or
Top three didn't change.
yeah. I don't think the top 3 changed that much.
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss moves up to 4. Texas A&M is now at 5. OU falls back to 6. Indiana at 7. Alabama moves up to 8 after their win over Vanderbilt. Texas Tech at 9. Georgia rounds out the top 10. And then there's a couple teams that are not in here anymore. Penn State completely falls out of the top 25. Texas is out of the top 25. Was there another team too that fell out as well?
I think those are the main two.
Those are the main two, predominantly for the most part. Yeah, so Georgia continues to remain at 10. Notre Dame continues to climb their way back up. I would almost assume that going into this next week that Notre Dame is probably going to find themselves hovering around top 10 area again.
Mm-hmm.
Too. Your Mizzou Tigers are at 14, so they move up a couple slots, I think, from 19 after having the week off. So Florida State does fall back to 25 and still are ranked at this point in time. I don't think they'll be unranked after this week either. So we'll see how that goes as well. But what's your thoughts and opinions on the new top 25?
No surprise. I think that the AP poll did it. They did exactly what I thought that they would do, which is if Penn State was to lose to a team that you and me said could have a good
They're gonna win
possibility of
again.
going 0-12.
Yeah.
We thought they weren't gonna win.
Yeah.
I was like, it was just it's surprising. Not really that surprising to me. Because I even said it like a lot of people think that I put it into a fandom because of the fact that we got a good old Bo Prabula over at Mizzou and it looks better, and that's crazy. I've been kind of like trolling a little bit, but also pushing the narrative of that James Franklin let the better quarterback walk out the door. And it's really showing face. I mean, we've shout out to Kingdom Cast and shout out to Tell the Truth. A couple of our guys sat over there and they said, well, hey, I mean, y'all both were right about if we were buying stock into them. DG, you weren't buying stock into your own Texas Longhorns. I wasn't buying stock into the Penn State Nittany Lions. Right now, we're both looking like geniuses.
Yeah.
Because
I hate that I am, but yeah.
Yeah, you hate that you're right. but you were right. But I mean, it's a lot of things that's going on. You can already see the reasons why some teams are still in the top 25, i.e., Florida State. The big one being they have that one win over that number 8 ranked Bama. So that's probably why people are saying, yeah, we're gonna keep you in there for right now. But I mean, there's no real big surprise. I think Notre Dame still being high as they are. I mean, with 2 losses, it's wild because you got teams who only have 1 loss, who has 1 loss or potentially even none, who are lower than them. But I mean, it is what it is. We understand why they always going to take account of strength of schedule. But nah, man. I mean, this is no real big surprise, no real big shot.
Yeah, I think initially at first I was a little bit shocked that, well, I guess I was more shocked that my team, Texas, ended up falling out or whatever. But then when I kind of came to my senses and realized when you lose to a 1-3 team, a team that had definitely been struggling through the first 4 weeks of the season, and you're ranked, you're supposed to take care of business, and you didn't. And so it's the nature of the beast. These are the results. You can clearly see that the AP poll this year, I think, is not really giving any grace towards teams that lose to unranked, that are ranked, that lose to unranked teams. And I think that's kind of what happened between both us and Penn State. Although I think Penn State's loss was a little bit
worse.
Way worse than ours. Because I still think I Florida, even though they were 1-3, I still think they're a remotely better team than UCLA is at this point in time. So I think if Florida played UCLA, Florida would probably beat UCLA.
Here's the main thing. DG, we gotta have this quick conversation about this. Penn State, Nittany Lion fans. Here's the main issue of it. I'm looking at you right there. Penn State fans. Now y'all was talking all that good stuff about Drew Lawrence coming back. Maybe he can show that he's a first round pick. Yada yada yada. We gonna make another run for the CFP. You got BTA for most of that game against UCLA.
That is true. It was bad.
It was real bad. We were talking mess on Nico moving to UCLA and playing like dog water. You made him look like Tennessee Nico.
Yeah.
Okay. James Franklin, you doing all this extra stuff about Drew Lar still our guy. You know what I'm saying? It just he just having Drew Lar has one of the worst QBRs as a starting college quarterback.
Right.
We need to stop hyping up Penn State. I don't think Penn State needs to be mentioned until James Franklin can win a big game.
Yeah. I really think it's kind of funny because I kind of think now James Franklin and Steve Sarkisian are in the same boat, riding together. And it just is what it is, man. They, for some reason, cannot beat teams they're supposed to beat at points in time, and they don't have great records against ranked teams, which is not good, especially when you're getting paid to virtually come in and change these programs around and make them contenders. Although I know James Franklin last year both of those coaches got both of their teams to the college football playoffs, and I think both to the semifinals, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, both to the semifinals. You got to capitalize, man. Like, you got to cash in. This is the reason why Kirby Smart continues to thrive at Georgia. This is the reason why Brian Kelly will thrive at LSU. You know, you're not taking full advantage of your opportunities, Steve Sarkisian. So I got some things I want to say, but I'll save those things for later when we get to our game.
Right.
Let's roll now into the highest percentage chances to make the CFP at this point in time. Ohio State obviously has the highest percent chance, 89% being the number one team in the country. Oregon as well too. They're definitely looking like a very impressive team. I would assume Miami is probably real in line to win the ACC and be one of the top four teams in the playoffs at this point in time too. Your Mizzou Tigers continue, I feel like, to get disrespected. 34% chance to make the CFP, but I'm assuming a lot of that is probably reliant on how you guys are going to look against your matchup this week against another team that has a higher percent chance in Bama this weekend. So great test for the Mizzou Tigers coming up as well. My Texas Longhorns still with a glimmer of hope and a 22% chance, but falling fast. So their season is definitely in jeopardy at this point in time as far as the college football playoffs are concerned. I think the surprise for me is Memphis being that. I don't understand what the infatuation is with Memphis at this point, but I guess this is how the college football playoffs is going to work. The committee is going to look at certain teams and try to find a Cinderella story somewhere in there that they can hype up. So what's your thoughts right now on the playoff predictor and the percentages at this time?
I can definitely understand why Memphis is. As I look at the matchup, so I think that it's like so crazy, I think the main case in point of it all is that Memphis is 5-0. That they're one of the last undefeated teams left in college football. So I think that all in all, that holds some weight. And I think the other thing about it is which I don't understand why it's holding so much weight in this perspective. I think that win over Arkansas at home has for some reason carried weight, because in my eyes, I'm like, you won. Yes, congratulations. And you're in the broad landscape of you beating an SEC team. Great job. Right. But you played one of the worst, if not potentially going to be the worst SEC team this season. Arkansas has already fired Sam Pittman. They're going to go with with Bobby Petrino, which that don't make no difference to me.
No.
But I mean, the thing about it is that I think it takes into account if they beat an SEC team and they're 5-0. I mean, it looks that way, and I mean, outside of USF and maybe Navy, you have some tough games, but I mean, for the most part, outside of that, there's not going to be any more tough games for USF to play, or not for USF, but for Memphis to play. So I think that's kind of what it is. I don't understand. I think that they're going to be the G5 team that comes out, but they're not going to be like Boise State, where it's going to keep being close. I think Memphis is going to get blown up by whoever's going to go against them.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not really sure what the infatuation is with Memphis. Maybe it's just because they have really cool uniforms at this point in time. But
they got a cool feel.
But yeah, I guess, man, if the committee has to find a team that they, like I said, they can hype up as a Cinderella story, or maybe a team that is going to play the upset alert. I guess it would be the Memphis Tigers at this point in time. We will move on now to the Heisman Trophy race. Is what is heating up as well. Carson Beck now is the odds-on favorite by BetMGM at plus 500. Dante Moore second behind him at plus 700, and Jeremiah Smith has now climbed up to 3 to be the to kind of round out the top 3 for the Heisman odds. A lot of guys, some new faces in here as well too. CJ Carr now is got some odds coming in on him. Julian Sayin continues to climb the board as well too, as good as Ohio State has probably played. I would assume that if Ohio State finishes undefeated and they are the consensus number 1, I would assume that Jeremiah Smith and both Julian Sayin will probably be finalists for the trophy. At this point in time, Ty Simpson continues to play and impress really well. As too is, I think, really Bama kind of, after that Florida State loss, has saved their season pretty much to this point, and now a lot of people are looking at them as contenders for this thing. So shout out to Kalen DeBoer and the boys for bouncing back and being able to really put themselves in a driver position. To try to win a national title. My Hardy will be respected. Yeah. Well, my Hardy, yeah, definitely. I think if he has a good game against Bama, he'll probably start getting the national attention he really truly deserves. I think Mizzou will start to finally get the national attention that they deserve at this point in time. But got to go out there and get the job done against Bama as well. What's your thoughts on the Heisman race to this point? And is there anybody up here that you feel like is missing?
I'm on the board. Of course, it's crazy how they took Jeremiah's now to top 3, which is that's the only out of quarterback position. Honestly, I would flip the two between Carson Beck and Dante Moore, because yes, Carson Beck has looked absolutely phenomenal. Yes, this, that, and that. But the thing about it is that honestly, in my eyes, the best quarterback that I have seen, especially with seeing how everything is going on. I'm not gonna congratulate or show support to a guy who's been in the league. And this is no disrespect to Carson Beck. Carson Beck has been in college football for, I believe, 5 years now, 5-6 years. I think it's 5. I'm gonna go with 5.
Long enough.
Long enough. Long enough.
Dude,
you're comparing, like you're going from that. You're doing all that, and I mean Carson has looked he's looked a lot better over at Miami than he did at Georgia last year. But again, now he has receivers, and I think Malachi Toney has been an absolute great receiver for him, a great guy. But I mean, Carson Beck is just like he's shown improvement, but he's not made it like a night and day change. Dante Moore, a lot of people were doubting Dante Moore coming into the season because they were wondering, can he pass the ball? Not only has he shown that he can, but he's doing it with maximum efficiency. And for a kid who started at UCLA, hit the transfer portal, sat behind Dylan Gabriel, and then came back and is playing better than Dylan Gabriel did last year, Dante Moore deserves a lot more, because I think that the one thing about it is that when that kid played against Penn State, he showed so much composure that I don't think nobody's really talked about. It's like his ability to stay with composure. To me, Dante Moore is my Heisman favorite. Like, if you're talking about on this board, Dante Moore is my number one. CJ Carr, he did what he was supposed to do in the games that he's played. I think the number one game that he really showcased his ability was against Arkansas, but it's Arkansas. Joey Aguilar, he's been solid. Trinidad Chambliss, I think that he's become the name of the game for Ole Miss, because he wasn't the starter. It was Austin Simmons. Yeah. Austin Simmons goes out, he comes in, he starts balling. And now I think Austin is healthy now, but Lane Kiffin isn't going to change quarterbacks midseason.
No, not where they're winning.
Not at all. So it's just it's kind of it's crazy how quick the odds have changed, because your guy was at number one like come week 1 and 2, but now you're talking about a whole different situation where there's a whole bunch of different quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So
shout out to all these guys, man, for going out and having phenomenal years this year. Hopefully they all continue to ball. I think the list is well deserved at this point, especially when you're winning ball games. I think that's ultimately what matters the most, and that's probably the biggest stat in my opinion. We will move on and get to, I guess, the nitty gritty of this episode, and what we want to discuss. Yeah. So we talked about Penn State and them going on the road and losing to UCLA, falling out of the top 10 or falling out of the top 25. And now my Longhorns, a devastating and a rather unimpressive loss in the swamp that really shouldn't have happened, in my opinion.
Here's my thing, DG, because you talked about that. We talked about this before the show and right after the game. Streets been talking.
Streets have been talking.
Streets been talking. They saying, I think I've heard it all, brother. We gonna address some of the narratives, brother. They said number one, where was this Arch? Is Arch really a Manning, or who? What is Arch? He was overhyped. He was playing against nobodies in high school. There's a reason he's not Peyton and Eli's son. He's Cooper Manning's son, so that don't make him a great quarterback. Streets have been talking, dog. They wondering. They trying to figure out is Arch Manning overhyped? Is Arch Manning not really what people believe Arch Manning is?
No, because Arch Manning is not the main issue of this team at this point in time. I'm not saying that he's been part of the solution or that he's not a part of the problem. But for him to be the end all be all at this point, it's asinine to me, and it's very ignorant, I think, especially if you have not watched Texas football. I know it's easy. I think for a lot of people, it's easy to blame the quarterback, especially when you have a guy of Arch Manning's magnitude, of the name that he brings and things of that nature, and the hype that he brings. Granted, I will say this: it wasn't like he came out and said, "Oh, I'm gonna be this generational talent," and blah blah blah. It was the media. It was people around him. It was the national pundits who said this mess. There was a lot of people who are already claiming him to be the number one pick in the 2026 draft, and yada yada. It was all you guys. I'm sorry, and I understand people want you to live up to the hype or whatever, but it's hard. It's definitely tough to do that when you haven't had the significant amount of reps that you need, in order to get yourself ready for what's about to happen. Now, a lot of people are gonna sit here and probably say that, oh no, you're coddling Arch Manning. I'm not trying to coddle Arch Manning in no shape or form. Like I said, I do think that he has been a part of the problem. And if y'all watch previous episodes, I have said that numerous amounts of times.
Yes, yeah.
Especially the game against UTEP. If you go watch the game against UTEP,
Absolutely.
I think 80% of that game was his fault to an extent. So I think that's probably the worst game he's had at Texas. And even though we ended up winning 27-10, if you go back and watch that game, it wasn't a good game for him. I think he was very indecisive. I think that he was very timid. I think that there are points in times where he's out there and he's thinking too much. But there are reasons why he is thinking too much. And I want to bring up these stats to you guys.
Oh.
From CJ Vogel, who I really love watching talk about Texas on Texas sports. This is a sign of an undisciplined football team. Through 6 weeks, Texas ranks 99th in tackles for loss, 108th in fourth down conversion, 109th in red zone efficiency, 116th in third down conversion, 127th in penalty yards, 131st in penalties per game. Now, there are 132 teams in FBS football. The Texas Longhorns damn near lead the nation in penalties per game. They are an undisciplined team. And a lot of that, I feel like, falls on the coaching staff. Steve Sarkisian, that's your fault. Sorry, I hate to break it to you, but your team is super undisciplined at this point, and that's not how you win ball games, especially from the offensive line perspective. The offensive line has been terrible, god awful, and in Florida in the swamp, they got whooped, absolutely taken to the woodshed. So this game, so I'm sitting there watching, and I'm scrolling through Twitter. And all I see is, Arch Manning stinks. Arch Manning is this. Arch Manning, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's talking about how bad the offensive line is. The fact that this kid has literally no time whatsoever to sit back and actually analyze and go through his reads. And I think a lot of Arch Manning's issues right now is that his mental clock is sped up. And it has to be, because he doesn't trust this offensive line. You can't slice it any other way. And if you go and you watch the Florida game, you will see how bad it truly was. It was bad, bro. It was bad.
Yeah.
Like there were points in times, and I wish I could bring up this other. Let me see if I can find it. PFF does grades on offensive linemen, whatever. Connor Stroh, who was our starting left guard, got benched before halftime, and they decided to go with the true freshman Nick Brooks. Nick Brooks graded at a 0. A 0. Your left guard, a goose egg. There were points in times where, like, he couldn't even, on Florida's interior guys, he couldn't even get a hand on them. Arch Manning was facing immediate pressure as soon as he dropped back and looked down the field. And I'm about to bring up. Hold on, let me bring up this clip too from CJ Vogel. Shout out to my guy CJ, man. He does great work. But yeah, if you go and you watch the clip, man, there were flashes of Arch Manning's greatness, dog, where you can literally tell he's just more athletic and better than some people out there on the field, But look at the amount of pressure that he's facing on some of these dropbacks immediately. Not like he held the ball a little bit too long and it it resulted in a sad, which I think some drawbacks for him in Florida it happened, but I think that's also indicative of that his mental clock is sped up and that he doesn't want to force anything or try to make a mistake at this point in time to cost us the game, which he ended up doing anyway because he ended up throwing 2 interceptions. But that point you're already down 2 possessions, so fuck it, why not? Try to do anything to get us back into the game. This game was close as it was because Arch Manning kept us in the game, plain and simple. Especially from the offensive perspective, the Arch Manning and our receivers, our core 5 of receivers, Parker Livingstone, Ryan Wingo, Emmett Mosley, DeAndre Moore. Shout out to them guys, man, because they did their job. I feel like them and Arch Manning did their job. This offensive line miserably failed everybody in the swamp, and it was bad, man. So let me go pull out. I'm sorry if I'm going too long.
No, this is your time, good brother. This is your time.
We'll pull up this clip, these clips as well too. If I can get them up here, let me see. Shout out to my guy Max as well too. I think it's now smart to buy low on Arch. Texas offensive line is implorable. While the heat is affecting his accuracy in a major way, Arch is already managing difficult pockets at a high level, and it's still very inexperienced. He is not Texas's problem. So I just want you to from the outside perspective, you watch these clips and you tell me what you see.
I think number one is your guard play is absolutely horrible. Yeah. Your left side collapses more than paper when it encounters water. Your right guard, he's a little bit better, but he's not stonewalling anyone. It seems to me like it's now that has also been the one thing that I've heard which is Texas probably has the worst offensive line, not only in the SEC but in Power 4 play. It just seems like at times they're caring more about making sure they're doing the right footsteps or the right technique, that they don't even take care of the man that's in front of them. And the thing about it is when we talk about quarterbacks and learning which side is their blind side, you're gonna have to protect a little bit more on this blind side, because what's the definition of blind side? You can't see from where that direction is coming. I think that it seems like there's no chemistry on that left side of the line. Primarily, it seems like you got Arch running for his life, and everybody says that you got to give a quarterback at least 3 seconds. If you're not giving a quarterback at least 3 seconds, you're setting your team up for failure. For what we've seen from those clips from against Florida, Arch probably not even has a full second, because it seems like as soon as he snaps that ball, left guard is clashing it. He is already looking like he's got to clash in, and especially if the edge rusher or the D or the nose tackle is having inside contain, he's got to run outside. And the thing about it is we know Arch is mobile. Arch ain't Lamar Jackson. You're not okay with him just running around over and over and over again. And this is where it's going to be tough, because we haven't even gotten to the point to where I will say this, coming from an outsider's perspective, a lot of people did have Florida was missing a major key piece offensively. We talk about Texas' offense, but Florida was missing a key piece for most of up to that point. Dallas Wilson, freshman receiver, who they got, which I thought that Florida was going to be in for.
Mm-hmm.
Another kid, I think Dallas is from Texas.
Yes.
Dallas Wilson. I think Dallas Wilson's from Texas.
Yeah, I think it came down to us in Florida. He chose Florida.
Oh, okay. No, he's a Tampa boy though. He's a Tampa boy. It's. I mean, Florida just looked like me personally looking from where it is. I was like, oh, this was going to be a good game, but I expected you guys to come out on top because I thought you were going to lean up a little bit more on your defense. I was wrong. It just looked on both sides of the ball was not good at all. It just seemed like, Arch. We criticize Arch because of the fact that we've seen so much, and this isn't on the kid. Let's get this understood. We've said this a lot. Uh, Arch was not. We've been so accustomed to Arch, and it's not because of what Arch is. It's because of what the outside media is doing, what the fans are doing. Uh, a lot of fans like to hype up, and the unfortunate thing is the kid has the last name Manning. If you have the last name Manning, everybody's gonna have high expectations. But I mean, you got to understand that this is different. This is a different ball game. It just seems like I don't know if the offensive line just doesn't care because, like I said, the guard play has been absolutely horrible for you guys. I mean, your tackle's been better, but that's not saying much.
Yes.
Shout
out to Trevor Goosby. Trevor Goosby
yeah.
and DJ Campbell have been our two better players. Our right guard and our left tackle. Yeah. Outside of that, it's bad all around. Brandon Baker, a freshman out there, which I think at some point in time he's going to come into form. The worst part about all of this is that it's just too much inexperience in the trenches for Texas, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
And DG, who are we going to point our blame to? Steve Sarkisian. Because you not only have a recruiting class, you got to get active in the portal. We get on Brian Daboll because not Brian Daboll. I get them looks good. We get on Dabo Sweeney because Dabo refused to get inside the portal. The same thing is going with Steve Sarkisian. Yes. Steve is refusing to go get what the thing that you need the most is, which is good quality trenches.
Yes.
I'm not gonna sit over here and hype up my guys, but I mean, you see a lot of teams that have good to decent, like good from to great offensive lines. They go, not only do they get the kids also in the recruiting classes, they go get them in the transfer portal. Yes. When you don't when you're spending all your money on skill players and you don't invest in the trenches, your trenches are gonna start looking like this.
Right.
Now, on your side, y'all got a big task.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
This offensive line, I was about to say this offensive line play. I can't. You can't ever expect them to do a full 180 in less than a week. But you're gonna need something really big to happen here on Saturday.
Yeah. Speaking of Saturday, so a lot of people are probably gonna question how do you make this easier for Arch Manning? How do you make this easier for these receivers? How do you make this easier for this Texas offense as a whole? And the one biggest thing I've been saying all week to people who have asked that question, Texas has to make life easier on themselves. And they have to realize what they cannot do. You can no longer, and I understand, and this is the funny part. When Quinn Ewers was here, everybody talked about, oh, Texas can't throw the ball deep or whatever. Quinn can't throw the deep ball, blah, blah, blah. So what did Steve Sarkisian do? Since he knew, Quinn was limited or whatever in his deep ball ability, you went to a lot of play action, rolling pockets, basically going with your short, quick game because you knew Quinn could throw in the good to tight windows, make those kind of throws, elite level throws across the middle of the field or whatever, and he was very good at that, right? You leaned into that. You leaned into that identity. That's what became your identity, as well as running the football, right? I understand Arch Manning has a cannon and he can throw the ball a country mile down the field. This
Kick out.
offensive line cannot protect. Now, look at this chart, man. From 2022 to 2023. Look at the pass attempts by depth for Quinn Ewers to Arch Manning. The rates are higher in the Arch Manning era. And I understand that Steve Sarkisian wants to push the ball down the field. And he said that in his presser the other day. He said, our plan against Florida was to throw the deep ball because we felt like they were susceptible to it. We felt like that it was something that we could exploit against them. And he said it turned out they were ready for that. Completely and utterly ready.
You don't
Here's the
say.
even here's the even more crazier part. Florida coming into the game had the worst pressure percentage in SEC. They had 3 sacks on the year. They had 6 against Texas. They had one guy to that point, I think had two of those 3 sacks. One defensive lineman. One. They ended up with 6. Now, you tell me going into this OU game, what needs to change? I really, truly, and wholeheartedly believe Steve Sarkisian is going to have to realize that he's going to have to turn Arch Manning into Quinn Ewers. And I know that sucks because everybody wants to see the fireworks show. Throw the ball down the field, utilize Ryan Wingo's speed, utilize Parker Livingstone over the middle and things of that nature. I get it. It's fun. It's electric. Your offensive line can't do that, though. They can't hold up for that long. So now you're going to have to turn Arch Manning into Quinn Ewers. You're going to have to go back to the short game, the short, quick passing game, the screen game, the quick slants, and allow these guys who are your playmakers who have a lot of speed to use their ability, use their speed to get yak yards and live and die by it at this point. Because that's the only way this Texas football team is going to be able to move the ball. You can't run it because you obviously shown, especially in SEC play, that you can't move a defensive line. You were barely able to. You were struggling against San Jose State to run the ball, and that's saying something. So I think now what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to simplify things a lot more. Jack Indris is going to have to become one of the main targets in this offense as far as utilizing him over the middle, utilizing what he does best is which being able to run routes and things of that nature. OU is probably the best defense in the nation, if you ask me. I don't think you could probably say Bama, maybe I don't even know who else you would put up there, but I really think Brett Venables' group is you got to test. You're gonna get a run for your money. Brett Venables is over there licking his chops because he knows you can't protect at this point in time, and you can't run the ball. So the only way I think Texas even wins this game, and shout out to my guy Blake for saying that. If John Mateer comes back, he's gonna. I'll be surprised to see how he plays, especially after that injury to his throwing hand. I still think Texas's defense as bad as they played on Saturday. I still think that they can show up and have a good game. This is a rivalry game, so I think that Pikakowski will have the defensive unit up for this game again. They get Malik Muhammad back, who you missed in the swamp, which would have helped, especially against Dallas Wilson, because Kobe Black was out there just getting absolutely roasted. And I love that kid to death, but he was not ready for that moment at all. Grayson Littleton continues to shine. True freshman kid, 18 out there that was absolutely balling still at this point in time. I need more from Colin Simmons. Need more from Trey Moore, which I feel like he hasn't shown up this year. And this was a guy who came out of UTEP that had 13 and a half sacks the previous year before he showed up on Texas campus. So really need him to show up. I think our interior defensive line has to play a lot better. But yeah, depending on who plays quarterback for OU, I think that defensively you can be able to get after OU.
Yeah,
the game's gonna come down to our offense versus their defense.
Yeah, if you take a look at your GMs, I just saw a report about 8 hours ago. Basically saying you can put up there, but it says we had sources reaching out to us Monday night indicating the same thing. For someone close to material, Oklahoma will issue a former injury report on Wednesday night, and we likely won't hear the final word on this, but until Friday night or maybe just before kickoff. But OB sources orangebloods.com has reported this. Combined with national reports, we have us expecting to see Mateer in action Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
In Oklahoma source we connected with this week, Mateer is expecting to play.
Yeah, I fully expect. I mean, this is probably one of the biggest rivalry games in all of college football. So I fully expected John Mateer was going to try to give it a go. But I also expected OU to try to make us game plan for him. And I don't blame them at all.
I don't know.
Even though I think that it may be a sense that you may possibly be rushing him back at this point in time.
Maybe.
I mean, because he just had surgery a week and a half ago
Yeah.
or whatever. I don't know how those things work. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not gonna sit here and say that he's not fully healed or whatever. But in my opinion, I if I was OU as well too, I'd make Texas have the game plan for my starting quarterback at this point. I'm gonna play all the mind games that I can play, to get an advantage and try to get ahead. It should only gameplay for Mateer. There shouldn't be no gameplay. Yeah, if Michael Hawkins plays, I feel a lot more confident about Texas's chances. But I think the game's gonna be super sloppy if Michael Hawkins plays. Sloppy. Yeah, because we can't move the ball. Oklahoma can't run the ball. Michael Hawkins, I'm pretty sure for a lot of OU fans, it's not what they want to see back there at all at this point. So, yeah, man, it's you got a huge test on your hands. Your season is hanging virtually in the balance. And if you lose this game,
it's over.
It's over.
It is.
Like
there's no college football playoff. Yeah, there's no college football.
Essentially over. I asked the question in our chat the other day: can a 3-loss team make it into the college football playoffs? And everybody told me no. And I have to agree. I mean, we've only seen one team be able to do it, and that was Clemson, who went on that run last year to win the ACC. And I just think this year, I just think there's too many good teams, especially in the SEC. I don't think you can afford to lose 3 games and think you're going to get in. So, this is essentially playoff football for Texas Longhorns at this point. Your season's on the line, Steve Sarkisian. So I've seen him before be the underdog going into this game and beat Oklahoma. But I think going into this game now, you have to figure out how to help Arch Manning and help this offensive line hold up. And I think you're going to have to lean into things that you don't want to have to lean into. You've been stubborn this whole season, trying to be this explosive, push the ball down the field kind of team, and it hasn't worked because you can't protect and do it. So hopefully Saturday I see a more disciplined team. I see a more focused on a specific game plan kind of team, and I would like to see our defense show back up and be the one of the best defenses I know that they can be in the nation again.
Yeah.
I think that's the lone sole way that the Longhorns can even come close to try to win in this game. But again, I'm not buying stock in this team at all. I don't have a lot of faith. I can't lie to you going into this game. Probably a lot of Oklahoma fans are gonna watch this and think that I'm being trying to play the humble game or whatever. I ain't, man. This is the honest truth. Like it would not shock me if Oklahoma blew us out. Like they got to prove it to me at this point.
For sure. Yeah.
Like they got to prove it to me. If we go out there with this same game plan where we have to make Arch Manning have to play hero ball or whatever and try to do everything himself, you're not beating Oklahoma that way. Not at all. So from an outside perspective, what are your opinions on the Red River rivalry?
I mean, you just said it. You win, you lose, it's over. There is no, we got another week, we can come back, make a run. Because the thing about it is, this is a different college football playoff format. They're not going to do just conference champions. They're going to do it the four best teams. The four best teams with the four best records are going to have the top four seeds.
Yep.
That's not happening no more. There's no, you're just going to be a conference champion and boom, you're in the top four. It's not happening. The thing about it is, your back's against the wall. You don't ever want to be at this point right now. You don't want to be one of these teams with a two loss record, sitting over there saying, "Hey, we go on this generational run, and we just smacking teams over and over and over again." It's already bad enough. If you have multiple non-con losses, you're already in the tough spot.
Right.
We being entering week 6, week 7 of the college football playoff season, and you have in your record stands at 3-2 or 4-2. There's no guarantee. Let the also record be known that according to Fox College Football, there are only 15 undefeated teams remain. You talked about how tough it is in the SEC. 4 of the 15 teams are FCC teams, and one of them is Oklahoma.
Yep.
You have Oklahoma, Ole Miss, OU, and Mizzou. Those are the 4 SEC teams that are left undefeated. Here's what happens. If you're able to knock Oklahoma off of that undefeated season, that old undefeated record, that I think that adds a lot of a big boost to you, and I think that adds a lot of a big boost to Arj and the fan base and all that. But it's a very thin line. We saw, especially, we know exactly how Oklahoma is coming. You guys blew them out last year. Now they're looking to do the same to you.
Yeah.
This is that situation. Like right now, according to the spread lines, when I first looked, it was Texas -1.5. It's now shifted because I'm guessing that Vegas got the odds that Mateer is playing. It's now shifted to OU -1.5.
Yep.
That should probably tell you that Oklahoma is probably getting ready to start John Mateer.
Yeah.
Steve, you gotta rebuild Rome in a day, and we know how hard it is to rebuild Rome in a day. But right now, the Longhorns are 3-2. If y'all don't get it and y'all end out Saturday 3-3, we talking Cheez-It Bowl. We talking Pop-Tart Bowl.
Yeah.
We're talking about a bowl that we ain't ever seen Texas in.
If that.
If that. We talk about Kansas being in the Tax Slayer Bowl.
Right.
Y'all might be in the Texas Bowl.
Man. Might be in the RL Carriers Bowl. One of them bowls.
The Hostess Donut Bowl. The Hostess Ho-Ho Bowl.
Doesn't matter.
But it's just what it is. And unfortunately, I have a tough task in the Oklahoma and Red River rivalry. I think that's going to be a great game. Y'all are going to be right after, for us, ABC is going to be the spot to be. Because
I don't blame you, Blake. I don't blame you at all.
He's like, yeah.
Like
now
I'll say this too. Like the Red River rivalry is one of the games I don't talk a lot of trash because this game we've played Oklahoma so many times. And I think Blake knows this as well too. This game could go either way. It's kind of how the stadium is split too. Split right down the middle. Burnt orange on one side, maroon and white on the other side, man. And this game I've seen so many of these games that have gone so wacky, and it just you never know what's gonna happen. It's best to be the fan that talks trash after everything. Right. So yes, it's hopefully it ends up being a really good game, especially for the outside people that'll be watching. All eyes will be on both of these teams. Hopefully Texas can save their season and put themselves in a good position to gain some confidence moving forward in SEC play. But we'll see how it goes. Speaking of SEC play, man, let's get to the matchup, another matchup of the week, man. Mizzou and Alabama face off against each other, and they have gotten the better of you guys for quite some time right now.
Yeah.
But Mizzou is definitely in a position, and this is a home game for you guys, right?
It is.
Mizzou is definitely in the position where they look a lot better this time around, and I would not be shocked if the Tigers come out with a victory in this game. I think this is the best time to catch Alabama. I'm gonna say Oklahoma. I've been talking about Oklahoma too much. So, what are your thoughts heading into Saturday? National spotlight, everything on the line for the Mizzou Tigers, man, to put themselves in position to get a little bit of praise.
Hey, man. We've been talking about it recently. How the media, national media, is not giving us the respect that we feel like we rightfully deserve. Saturday's gonna do it. I think that Saturday is the one that's gonna make the most. I sat out on Twitter's on college football Twitter Spaces. I said, "Y'all better get us." Hold on. Oof, snap. I said, "Y'all better get us." Okay, I'm gonna look right in the camera when I say this. Y'all better get us. Okay, because if y'all don't get us, we're coming for it all. Okay.
Wow.
That's how it is.
Confident.
Okay. I heard from Alabama fans last year. Oh, we put belt ass to Missouri. You played Drew Pine for most of the game. when you played Brady, I think it was a 3-0, maybe it was 6-3 game. Or no, it was 6-0. It was a very competitive ball game. Alabama started off very slow against us last year in Bryant Denny. I think if Brady Cook would have just continued to play, it would have been a closer game than what people expected. This is a big game for us in general because if there's any time for us to make the college football playoff, it's right now.
Mm-hmm.
We right now, a lot of people, of course, some people know about Ahmad Hardy, not getting the respect and the Heisman candidacy that he feel like. Trey just lied on them. See, don't listen to Chuck. Chuck just hates Brady Cook. But the thing about it is that right now, when we say STP, people don't know what STP stands for. Within the Mizzou program, STP stands for something to prove. We have a lot to prove. We have a lot to show right now. I did hear from some fans who said, they said, I don't know about you, but I said Missouri is going to pop one of us three. And he was talking to an Oklahoma fan and a Texas A&M fan. Mm-hmm. He said Missouri is going to probably pop one of us. I feel real confident about us because the thing about it is that we talked about, Bama beat Vandy. Outside, if you take away that last touchdown, it was 14-23. If you take away that last-minute drive right before the second quarter, right before halftime, it was 14-7. Vanderbilt did a horrible job executing a 2-minute warning, playing cover 2, and letting Jermaine Bernard go ahead and have a walk-in touchdown.
Right.
That game was very competitive. Here's the thing about it. I think that we have a lot of great pieces. I think the key person to watch on the injury report for us is Caden Green because we haven't had Caden. Caden didn't play against South Carolina. Caden didn't play against UMass. He's been out for the last 3 weeks dealing with it, I believe, a foot or ankle injury. He's currently listed as questionable, but if he plays, I feel a little bit more confidence. The thing about it is that we know about what Bama is, and Bama, they have 2 great receivers. They have multiple great receivers, Ryan Williams and Jermaine Bernard. They got Jam Miller back. Jam Miller gave them a little bit of more of a spark rushing wise. But the thing about it is, and I think somebody put it out there, we have an edge rusher by the name of Damon Wilson. Damon Wilson II, he's a Georgia transfer. He has 22 pressures this season. The entire Georgia defense only has 21. So that should tell you what type of player he is. We have a lot of people I think that we have a lot of players that can really run the ball, that can play, because a lot of people know about Ahmad Hardy, but y'all don't know about Jamal Roberts. Jamal was also one of the SEC leading rushers. So I think that he's going to get out. We're going to very much so. I think that we're really going to establish the run with those two, even maybe a little bit of Bo using his legs himself. Because the thing about it is here's how I look at it. The key to victory for us is, can you stay in front of the sticks? I think that if we average about 3.5 to 4 rushing yards per attempt, and if Ahmad is able to continue to do what Ahmad has done well, which is cause missed tackles and broken tackles, we're going to give them a very hard time to play.
Right.
But I mean, I look forward to this because we have nothing to lose. We don't have anything to lose. We're at home. Yeah, our home streak is on the line, sure. But we have a lot. We don't have a lot to lose. If we go out there and we play our ball and we beat Bama, if we go out there and we do what we need to do and we beat Bama, oh, brother, y'all better put us in the college football playoff. Mm-hmm. You better put us in there because we got a lot that we gonna try and do. So, but me personally, I love it. I hate the fact that it's an 11 o'clock game on ABC. I wish that this could have been a night game so
Oh,
they could
y'all
get the
before us.
Yeah, we right
Oh,
before y'all.
that's lame.
It is.
I thought we get to see y'all afterward. Yes, that should have been a
I'm
night
telling.
game.
Yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying.
In Columbia.
Yeah,
Saturday night. Yeah, that would have been.
that's what I
thought
wanted.
that's what they would have went with it.
Nah.
Probably.
Yeah, he talking about Brady Cook. But that's the thing though, is I think Mizzou fans, we have a lot of confidence in Bo Prabula. I love Bo. I think that he's been a great addition. We have a lot of great pieces on our offensive line as well as our defensive line. Yeah, ABC is absolutely lame for that because I really wanted to do that. They was like, "Oh, we're gonna make you guys feel better by giving you Joe Tessitore." That doesn't do anything.
They'll never do that, Blake. I would
Never.
love for us to play under the lights in the Cotton Bowl, but they'll never do that.
They ain't doing that. They ain't doing that.
Yeah,
ABC is real lame for that. But nah, I look forward to the matchup. I think that again, like what you said, if there's any time for Mizzou to get Bama, it's right now. I'm doubling down. I'm letting my team know that I told somebody earlier, I said I really like Bo Prabula rushing yards because I think Bo is really gonna get out there and do what we gotta do. It's going to be a lot better. I think that we're going to look a lot better this year compared to last year because the thing about it is I think Kirby Moore has really gotten into his bag a lot more. We're going to look a lot better, Chuck. Trust and believe. I believe that. I believe that we're going to look a lot better.
What was that national game last year?
Texas. We played Bama and Texas A&M on ABC, and we looked bad in both of those.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that Texas A&M game, it still leaves a nasty taste in my mouth. But I mean, it
they
is what
start
it is.
Marcel Reed in that game?
No, Connor Wigman.
Oh wow,
Connor Wigman was dialing us up, boy. We just went for it on fourth down. That's the thing. Luther had a touchdown, but it came back, and that kind of just derailed everything.
Yeah.
So it was like we thought that we had a good drive going. A couple calls they may call, and then the Luther touchdown got held back, and then from then on it was straight BTA on us.
Right.
But I think this is the time. Like I said, this is the time. I think I believe in Drink. I believe in Kirby. I think that Drink is taking this season a little bit more personal compared to previous seasons because he's just shown that he's going to do whatever he's got to do to take care of business while still being the funniest and the most lovable dork that I know, and I stand by that, coach, because they be like, oh, he's a dork. That dude's a genius dork. So, but nah, I love it. I hear Bama fans talk all kind of shit. They told me that we're overrated. I heard Bama fans sit over there and tell me, oh, that's that Mizzou shit, and y'all overhyping that Mizzou shit. It ain't there. They ain't played nobody. They said that to me, which even though we played South Carolina, which everybody was hyping up in the preseason, but we didn't play nobody. Kansas, they were hyping that shit up too. Didn't play nobody. But it is what it is, man. I very much so look forward to the task. And I can't wait because I think that we're gonna put on a show, and don't be surprised if Mizzou pops Bama on Saturday.
Yeah. I'll be definitely intrigued to watch this game. Definitely have become a big fan of Ahmad Hardy and his work, Brevich. But yeah, definitely been a big fan of his work. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what's gonna happen. I'm intrigued to see how Ty Simpson handles the crowd on the road in Columbia. Columbia should be rocking and ready to go for that game at bright, bushy-tailed at 11 a.m. in the morning. That's such disgusting work. It definitely should have been a night game or whatever. I would definitely give you guys a massive advantage if it was a night game. And giving those students,
they didn't want that.
Yeah, giving those students a lot more time to get a lot more sloppy before the game. Having them out there at 11 a.m. is disgusting work. But
hey man, get drunk the night before in the early morning.
Right. Yeah, man. I'm definitely excited to see that game. Week 7, we move into going into this week. There are some other good matchups on the slate. Indiana travels to Oregon in the battle of top 10 teams against each other, battle of undefeated teams as well too. That is the 2:30 game on CBS on Saturday. Also, Ohio State takes on Illinois on the road, which should be, I think, a tough road test for the Buckeyes, in my opinion. In a Big 10 game, I think that's the big noon game for
I
Fox
believe so.
as well. Obviously, you know, OU and Texas are going to take on each other. You also have the Kansas Jayhawks traveling to Guns Up, Lubbock, Texas, to take on the Texas Tech Raiders in the top 10 team. I think that is the first top 10 team that Kansas will face this year.
Obliteration.
Another tough road test after the big dub for them against UCF down there in Florida as well. So that's pretty much the games, to me, in my opinion, what I'll be watching on Saturday and be tapping into as well. Any games you're intrigued to see outside of your game and obviously the Red River rivalry?
Oh yeah. I think that the game that I'm probably gonna be tuned in for is I really want to see. I want to see how Michigan does against USC. I actually have USC. Like I'm choosing USC to win this game. That's gonna be my quote unquote upset of the week. I think USC is gonna come out there. No disrespect to Bryce Underwood, but let's be honest, Bryce Underwood doesn't really have a lot of help offensively. So I'm going to be rocking with USC for that. Jordan Mayava, he's looked pretty well. He's looked pretty good for them at quarterback. So I will probably say that's going to be the team that I'm going to be tuned in for. Another game that I think that is going to be is low key, but I think that it's going to be a great game. Well, it's 2 night games, and it's 2 Big 12 night games. But I'm going to lean mine a little bit more towards Arizona State versus Utah, because I think that Arizona State's only nasty loss was a loss to Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
I think that a chance to really get some momentum back, as well as still continuously trying to win, go into Utah and beat the Utes. If you go in there, you beat the Utes, Sam Levitt does what he needs to do, Kane Udo does what he needs to do, Kenny Dillingham comes out on top as the winning coach, Arizona State's back up in there for that Big 12 championship talk. I can't wait to watch Texas Tech absolutely obliterate Kansas. It's going to be something like if Mizzou wins and they get obliterated, that's going to be great. Either way, this is going to be my therapy because of the fact that I can't wait to see how bad Texas Tech smacks the absolute dog water out of Kansas.
Right.
That's going to be hilarious.
I'm going to be a disgusting individual at this point in time.
Oh, Lord.
I'm going to pick my upset of the week. The Florida Gators will walk in to College Station and beat Little Bro. And I'm calling it now. DJ Lagway and the boys are coming to College Station and disrupting the Texas A&M Aggie season.
He said, if you go through it, if I went through it, you go through it too.
If I gotta go, take me through there. If I gotta go through it, you gotta go through it too. I believe that the Florida Gators will travel to College Station and beat Little Bro and them. Texas A&M has been doing a lot of talking. Now they feel like we're a top 5 team now. Look at us. Look at how great we look. Marcel Reed is looking better than your quarterback. Yeah. That talking's gonna catch up to you, and it's gonna be this weekend. And I'm probably gonna be wrong, but I don't care. Okay, I don't like the Aggies either. As much as I don't like OU, I don't like the Aggies either. So I hope they lose. I would talk more trash about the Sooners right now, but I can't do that. This is a rivalry game on the line, and Blake is probably still in here. Okay,
And like,
I got to ride on some kind of op at this point in time. So, yeah.
he said
Shout
somebody
out to
gonna get
DJ Lagway and Billy Napier. Go get a dub, man. Go get a victory in College Station and prove me right. Let's play some
Hey, real
Bills,
good.
man.
Hey, Richard. By the way, if you're ever watching this, y'all losing to USF. Go Bulls, baby. Go Bulls. No, I'm playing. He don't. He's not. He roots for Texas State, but I still want him to troll.
Let's play some Bills, man, before we get out of here. Underdog Fantasy, man. Shout out to the good people at Underdog Fantasy. It's a lot going. Oh, dang, I messed up.
Okay.
Sorry, it's a lot going on this month. As you guys can see, let me take this off the screen real quick. Boosttober is here. Boost every day in October. You get a boost. Whether it's a 30% boost, a 20% boost, a 50% boost, it may be 100% boost. You never know unless you get on the app and find out. Underdog Fantasy is running this promotion all month long, man. Obviously, a lot of good things are going on in the sports world. NFL is happening. WNBA Finals is on. You got the MLB playoffs going on right now. You got college football in full swing right now. The NHL has come back as well, too, for all you NHLers out there. Everything is on the line at this point in time, and what better place to play daily fantasy sports and win a little bit of cheddar than the Underdog Fantasy app. It is the best app to play daily fantasy sports. Underdog Fantasy promo code Kingdom Cash. Use the promo code. New users get play $5 and you get 50 at this point in time. So sign up today, put some money down, and win a little cheddar. I know Black Friday's coming up, guys. You need some bread, Christmas is right around the corner. It's peaking. It's right there. A couple months from now, little Sally will be asking for a Barbie dream house, or little Timmy's gonna want a Huffy bike, and you gotta win some bread. So go out there, man. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Go out there, try to win a little bit of cash on a great app, man. And shout out to the people at Underdog Fantasy, man, for always taking care of us.
Absolutely.
Also, the good people over at Wings and Things 5800 Truce, Casey and Mo. Kingdom Cast Friday game day box is still going, man. You can still go up there and get your 10 wings, lights and drums, 10 tenders, and a large fry. Hopefully that was the best part of your Monday night because the Chiefs weren't. Hopefully you went over there and got yourself a nice Kingdom Cast game day box and at least was able to enjoy some good food while the Chiefs suffered defeat. But either way, Chiefs got another big game coming up Sunday night, man, against the Detroit Lions at home. So what better way to be the impressive person at your tailgate than to show up with a Kingdom Cast game day box and be the best person there. All your friends will love you for sure. And make sure you tell them that the people at Kingdom Cast send you over. Make sure you buy Trey a 4-piece wing with the strawberry lemonade.
I need the strawberry. I need the strawberry.
And
need the strawberry.
Tell them the good people at Kingdom Cast send you over there, guys. Yeah. That's gonna do it for us, man. That's gonna wrap it up for another episode 11. We are almost to 15 episodes so far. We've been doing this for a while. We're professionals now.
We're good.
But yeah, man. put Amari Hardy's rest. Yeah, I would
Absolutely.
say that would probably
Absolutely.
be
Take
a
that
great move.
over. Take the over on Ahmad Hardy.
Lagway doesn't play like Jim. Yeah, Florida. Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah,
Play
man.
like Doovie.
We'll be back next week, man, to review Alabama versus Mizzou. Also review the Red River rivalry and everything else that is going on in the college football landscape at this point in time. Yes, Blake, we appreciate you, man. Not really good looks. Yeah, we appreciate you, Blake. Yeah, I didn't expect anything less. All right, I'm not gonna say anything. Like I said, my team is. They're not even worthy of me talking trash about at this point in time. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully Texas does not get blown out. But if they do, I will be in a tremendously dark place. Yeah.
Hello, darkness, my
Well, yeah, man. We appreciate y'all for pulling up, man. We love y'all. Enjoy the college football slate on Saturday, and also enjoy the Sunday slate of NFL games that are coming up as well. Kingdom Cast will be back, I believe, tomorrow to review Lions versus Chiefs. Heading into a really important game for the Chiefs season as well too. So yeah, check that out. Follow us at our respective Twitters. Let us know how you guys are feeling about this college football slate of games or whatever. Any questions, comments, concerns, or anything like that you guys want to leave us. Like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Tell them about Kingdom Cast. And yeah, man. Peace.
Y'all better not let us win. It's gonna be a spooky time.
Hook 'em.
MIZ.